First look at General Shao. I think the music is fitting. He walks back and forth pretty nice. He kind of reminds me of Astaroth, where it's like, for a big guy, he's pretty swift. He's got all that shining steel armor glistening in the desert sun. He walks forward really fast. He moves. He kind of has a tight walk speed. The animation's real tight. Not these big, long steps. He's moving back and forth nicely, and he probably can get out of range really quickly. So he's not really fast, but he's nimble. What about his jump? His jump, I like that he picks his legs up. It's got a big angle. He's not floaty. All right. His movement's not bad. Oh, yeah, look at that dash. Look at that forward dash. Let me check these options. All right, let's look at his move list. 1-2, that's all he gets. Stand 1 high, 1-2. 1-2 mid. -3. I like that. -2, -3. 1-2, pretty typical. Slamming his axe down. I like that. He's like a berserker. Back 1-2. Mid string. I like mid overhead. I like that. -7. Knocks him down. -7. -6. Let's quick look for an armor move. Uh-oh. Axe versus no axe. Let's quick look for... Has armor. Down back 1. Down back 3. Let's see that. All right. Down back 3. I like that. So back 1-2. Let's start testing these as I see them. Has armor. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. Unfortunate back 1-2 is not a real string. That was a useful overhead, and it's a mid-starter. But the back 1 is still useful. A mid-starter. Still useful. Forward 1-2-2. High mid-mid. It launches, an easy launch string. 10 frames. Okay, not bad. A 10-frame punish. What's 1-2-2? Maybe that's more useful. It's a mid at least. And it's -13, super punishable. Forward 1. What about the range on his forward 1 compared to his stand 1? It's a little bit further, but they're still both highs. A 10-frame high. I like this mid. I'd throw it out there. If they don't have meter, you don't have to be afraid of them armoring through anything. But I would still... What's the problem with it being a real string? Come on, NetherRealm. 1-2-2. Forward 1-2-2. And what is it? It's down back 3. Alright, seems like a true string, but it's punishable. So, then maybe that's what he wants to do. Forward 1-2 as a true string. It's a mid. You could do back 1 and forward 1-2 and start getting them trapped. Alright. And then of course it's down 1. 7 frames -8, no big deal. Glory in Kombat, 2-2-2. High mid-mid, again. He pushes it very far in front. 8 frames? No way! Wow, wow, wee wow. 8 frames. All of a sudden this can punish a lot. Now it might be 9 frames. It might activate on the 9th frame and have 7 of startup, but I like this. Stand 2. And that's another mid. -7. And that's another mid. -6. Let's test this string. 2-2-2. That's something easy to That's something easy to hit. That's an easy button to hit. Alright, so you can armor the last hit. 2-2 is a real string though. You can armor the last hit. But I mean 2-2, another mid. So sure. 1-2, forward 1-2, 2-2, and even back 1-2. I would mix them all up. The benefit to this is a lot of them look similar. A lot of these moves just... wow, and look at that bounce. 1-2, look at that bounce. Pretty nice. Forward 1-2, look at that launch. 2-2. So a lot of these moves look similar. You're not really going to remember what's what. You're not going to be so concerned with, oh, like, was this the overhead string that's armorable? Was that the launch string that's punishable? Like, how could I aim that? Forward 1, 2, 2. How far would I have to be on block to not be able to get punished by that? You can do it on whiff. Maybe that's what you want to do. Use back 1, 2 as a forward advancing mid and just whiff it. And so don't try and worry about them armoring it. Just 2 and 1 it on whiff. And it's an overhead. Maybe you like that. 2, 2, 2. 4, 1, 2. Yeah, I mean, they advance forward a lot. I like them. Fast, relatively safe. These big swinging axes, I like it. Back 2. Drags the axe on the ground. And it's advantaged. Wow, I like that. And wow, advantage on block and a real combo. Now, why did that fucking hit? Back 1, 2 whiffs. Weird. It's overhead. This is what I'm saying about how the hit levels kind of make some stuff difficult to combo. You do back 2, back 1, 2, and it whiffs because it's an overhead. But the back 2 hits because it's a mid. We'll do 1, 2. High mid, it whiffs. We'll do back 2, forward 1, 2, 2. That works. And then 2, 2, 2. Back 2, 2, 2, 2. And it misses because it's a high. Weird. So back 2, forward 1, 2, 2 is the only consistent thing. I like dialing it in so that the move starts as early as possible where the frames allow. And I like it to just automatically juggle. I don't want to time anything. I want to input the button presses. I don't want to wait for them to fall. I don't want to move forward to catch them. I don't want to have to delay my timing of my inputs. I just want to dial it in. So back 2 is a nice forward advancing advantaged mid. Forward 2 is an overhead. How safe is this? Not very. So then I might want back 2 as an overhead just because it's at least safe. Much more safe than forward 2. Maybe you could end a combo in this? Sure. And then you can switch sides and throw him. And I think there's properties where it's like every time you hit with his axe, he gets a buff, but I'm not really there yet. So 4-2 is an overhead that's unsafe, but it's got that transition. What about on block? Can I transition it to the grab on block? There's a second hit. It's still just as... It's a mid hit, but it's just as unsafe. Minus 15. And then it's down 2. Probably a better one, 9 frames. 9 frame down 2, you want it to be fast. Minus 3, not bad. Stand 3. This weird kick that whiffs. It's hot. It's high. Can you duck that? It doesn't even make contact. That's pathetic. Standing high. What is that even good for? It whiffs after a fucking jab. It's +2. It's 14 frames. It has no range. It whiffs. That's awful. Should not even exist. Back 3. That's a stepping low. Minus 6. And then there's another mid hit after that's super unsafe. So some of these transitions, what did he have? Forward 2 is an overhead and back 3 is a low, and they transition into these axe grabs. Back 3, 2. Back 3, that low. Another overhead, minus 7. I really like that. Let's check this. Back 3, 2. That's a real string. Man, armoring after lows is tough. That seems like a real string. Nah, it's not. Damn, that sucks. That would have been really good. Back 3-2 as a legit overhead. So then you'd be better off doing something else. You'd be better off doing back 3 and then like your own selected string. Sometimes they make strings in these games where it's like we'll build the option for you. So perfect example, General Shao's back 3-2, it's a low overhead, but it's armorable. So it's like, well, there's nothing stopping you from just doing your own follow-up. Like, what is back 3-2 on block? -7. There's nothing stopping you from just doing, like, back 3, back 1-2, you know? Because you wouldn't be able to... I don't know. Could you armor that? Back 3, 1-2. As like a setup. I guess so. Yeah. But, I mean, their own string is armorable as well, so it's kind of tough to say. Kind of tough to say what's worth doing. How often are you going to catch somebody with that? They don't have bar or they don't have an armor. So then that's going to be the important thing. Knowing what characters like Melina and Baraka who don't have armor and really abusing them. I mean, that's going to be the truth. All of a sudden you have access to these strings and these characters can do nothing about it. Never mind whether or not a character with armor has a bar or not, or is willing to spend it. But you just want to develop these general strategies, and then in these rare moments make an intuition like, all right, I'll try this now, as opposed to really betting it so hard all the time. Back 3-2, yeah, okay, I like that. And then a down 3. He seems cool so far. Big brawler, moves well, has a lot of forward advancing moves and swings. Pretty safe, a lot of overheads. Down 3. I like that low. -11. -11. There's got to be something you could... This idea of a down 3 being what should be full punishable. I mean... I don't know. How would you punish a down 3 with your own down 3? Maybe your own down 1. Your own down move. Your own low attack. It's kind of like when somebody, you know, in Street Fighter, Ken vs. Ken or something, they're doing low forwards and sweeps, and it's like you just punish it with the same move on block. Down 3. Harmstring instead of hamstring. It's got good range, and it's a real low. You're going to be hard-pressed to find an 11-frame low or mid that's going to make... An 11-frame mid, that's what I'm thinking about. What's the fastest mid in the game that could take out some of these? Because when you start inching up to -11, 12, 13, you're in mid territory. I get -8, 9, 10. You're not going to get anything other than a down 1 or something. But then some people might even have down 1s or down 3s that can combo. I don't know. If you spend a bar, can you special... I mean, it's a punish, and I'm hitting with a special cancelable move, maybe even spending bar to get a launch. If there are characters that have ways, or with cameos, are there going to be ways to combo off of down 1s, down 3s, and down 4s? With a cameo or with an enhanced special that's going to make stuff like a -11 low punishable. Going to have to explore. Stand 4. Another high. It's at least more masculine and high testosterone than his stand 3. 13 frame high. -13. I mean, I would love his down 2 as an anti-air more than some pussy stand 4. This idea of using like a horizontal or vertical kick to anti-air is kind of weird. Depends on the character. Some are good, like Li Mei, and Shang Tsung, but some are not. Back 4. Another standing sweep that is unironically super short range and is also 11 frames. How unsafe is this? It's a low. It's -3. I mean, I guess a standing sweep, I don't like that concept. Ooh, I just saw something I don't want to see. Back 4. What is his forward 4? He has a forward advancing mid kick. That's -6. Well, that's a hell of a lot better than... Alright, so back 1 and forward 4. What's back 1? -7. It's faster, though. Alright, so forward 4 is an advancing mid. It kind of has long recovery. You hear him clicking his axe into the other hand. Some of these moves, even though their recovery is like -6, the animation's like 20 frames longer than any other attack, and you have to wait so long for control to be returned to your character. So it's forward 4 is a mid, it's safe, it's better than stand 3 and stand 4. I can at least get behind it. I like back 1 as a mid. And back 1, 2, and back 3, 2, I don't know, I kind of like them. I like back 1, that's a mid. Back 1, 2 is into an overhead. Back 2, I also like that. 1, 2, 2, 2. What else does he have? Forward 2. What's forward 2 on block? Just raw. It's really unpunishable. I don't know, maybe he has better overhead options. Before you can make them afraid of an overhead, it's kind of like you condition them with mids not to duck. Then you start getting them with lows. Then you start doing raw overheads. That's kind of interesting. But in a game like this, do you really want to be poking and chopping at people? Like, just to do chip damage or just to get single hits? Or do you want to be pressuring with safe, like mid strings and crouch strings that naturally combo into something like a juggle, a special attack that captures and launches, or a cameo? Like, what's the purpose of pressuring? It's to eventually score a hit that converts into a combo. So these characters that are doing like single hit moves, is it that their normal pokes are the mix-ups because they're low and overhead and you use the cameo to try and convert? Maybe that's your game plan. I just want to poke and attack, and I'll use cameo to start combos. Maybe that's your game plan. Cameo really changes a lot because I see stuff that's very static in terms of a character's move list, their hit levels, and their frame data, and then the concept of the game, like, you know, down 3's minus 11, but he's crouching. What 11 move do you have that's going to hit a crouching opponent? And it's like, well, what about with cameo? Or like, what if I hit with this move? Can I convert? Like, why am I pressuring with an overhead if it's just going to knock down? Yeah, cameo could fill in the gap for something that you need with your character. So then the last thing is down 4. 13 frames, super far range. It is a real low. That's also minus 11 on block. So both of his crouch 3 and 4 are very disadvantaged. So like, I could punish my own down 4. Can I punish my own down 4 with a down 3? No. So then it doesn't start in 11 frames. It starts in 11 and it's active on frame 12. Like, you see what I'm saying? Minus 11. Well, this is an 11 frame move. Why doesn't it punish? Because it's probably not active on frame 11. It's probably... If it was active on frame 11, it would have 10 frames of startup. That's what I'm saying. If it were active on frame 11, it would have 10 frames of startup. This is telling you it's got 11 frames of startup and it's active on frame 12. This is why the frame data is so fucking misleading. And then it's active for 2 frames. And then it recovers in 26 after the active frames are over. So, thanks again, NetherRealm. Let's look at his jump strings. He seems incredibly simple. I like all of his strings. I like that you can just hit buttons. He reminds me... Look at that. 1, 2, 2, 2, 2. Good enough. How much damage was that? How much damage was that? What'd I just do there? 200 damage for just space buttons. Can I do a down 2? No. Interesting. Oh, because it's so fast. 8 frames stand 2. Alright. His jump attacks. I want him to jump. 1, 2, and 2. Alright, we got that. Jump 1, 2, 2. Ground bounces, I like that. Can you do 2-2 follow-up after that? So he might be able to get better air combos. Yeah, see? Jump 1, 2, stand 2, 2. Nice. And then jump 2, 2. Oh, that slashes down. I like that. Barbarian's Hammer. Nice, stand 2. Alright, so stand 2 is like your grounded string once you land. Because it's so fast. Yeah, sure, I like him. I mean, yeah, sure. Why not? He's cool. He's a boss. Why not? A decent low overhead mix. A little bit risky, but a lot of them are safe. Really, you're more at risk for armor than you are for somebody punishing you on block. So, and he has some advantage moves. All of his punch strings. Back 1 is a mid. Back 1, 2 is not a bad overhead that they can armor it. 1-2 bounces. 2-2-2 is very fast. 4-2 is a raw overhead that's a bit risky, very risky. Back 3 is a really nice slow. Back 3-2 is another low overhead mix. That's safe. See, that's the thing. Back 3-2 is safe. It's just that it can be armored. But I mean, give Baraka a taste of his own medicine. He doesn't have armor. Or jawline. And then, what else does he have? So he's very simple. What else does he have? Back 2, this big dragging mid. That's plus on block. 4-2 is his raw overhead. Back 3 is his low. He has this weird sweep. He has this mid kick. I mean, I would rather do back 2 maybe than forward. I don't know. Forward 4 could have its use. Back 2 is very slow. 26 frames, that's a drive impact. Forward 4. And then this weird sweep. What do I like? I guess you might as well like his down 3 because it's faster than his down 4. Who cares about the range? Let's look at his specials. Dark Energy. Buffs his axe. What does that do? Strengthens axe moves for a duration. Okay. Strengthens axe moves for a duration. They got to do something about this EX. They got to do something about it. Everybody says we can't get EX moves. Because when you press and hold 1 and then hit it, it doesn't work. I don't know, man. It's tough. Strengthens axe moves. Down back X. This is his armor move. It's a high. How fast is that? 10. It's a high. Is it really a high? Down back 3. You can switch sides. I don't know if that's a gimmick. If you would like to, you know, knock him down. He gets back up again. Maybe switch sides like that. And then Enhanced it has armor. Enhanced has armor. That's but see, if that's a high armor move, oh. Cancelable on hit into Power Strike if armor wasn't broken. Power Strike. What's Power Strike? Here's what I want to know. This is a high armor move. Are most characters' armor moves highs, or are some of them mids? Some of them are multi-hits. You might not need to be so afraid of armor if... Well, so one thing you could do to blow him up is, let's say you have an armor move and it's 3 hits, and it's, I don't know, 2-2-4. You could do the first 2 hits and then just crouch and not do anything. You could, like, crouch block. If I am crouch blocking. But see, that's not a good example. I have to make the dummy do it. He's going to do the normal version, and then he's going to do the enhanced version. And I'm going to crouch block. It makes contact if I'm blocking. Both of them make contact if I'm blocking. But it's like if I decide to do back 3-2, and then I do back 3 and I just wait. Like, and then I go to, it's like if I'm trying to decide what he's gonna do. Oh, he finished it. And then damn it, do the fucking enhanced move, you cunt! God. Now, what the fuck? Didn't I test this already? And it can be armored? There you go. Is it because I haven't come... Here's the thing. It might not be that I'm fucking up my input. It could be that I'm attempting to input the move too soon before the input window has been opened, coming out of block stun from this shitty back 3-2 string. Because these games have such long animations, you don't know, like, when the hell am I allowed to buffer my next fucking move out of block? That could be it also. It's not that we're fucking up our inputs, it's that we're waiting. We're waiting so fucking goddamn long. How long I gotta fucking wait before I could try and armor through this son of a bitch? So let's see if I do back 2, and then back 1, and I just duck. You know? And then I do this armor move, and it whiffs. I mean... That's interesting that it's a high armor move. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. You'll just have to know. That would be an instant. That would be a very character-specific instance, like, you know, somebody... Didn't Shang Tsung have a 3-hit move that ended in a low? That might have been a true string. And Shang Tsung's old forward 3-2 or 2-3 or whatever was like that starting low, forward 3. I don't fucking remember. Some of these characters I know, they have strings that go into lows. Usually the low strings are not armorable, whether it starts with the low or ends with the low. It's usually like the mid strings that are armorable. But it would be strange if Shang Tsung had this armor move that was high, and even if you activated the armor, it would whiff. Like, the armor would be triggered, but it would whiff. I bet it would still crush them, but if you have an armor string and you're like, oh, you know what, I'm going to end it, and then I'm just going to duck. So that could just be something that you could bait with this guy, like, he's going to try and armor me, and because what is this move on block? Let's make you auto block. Let's make you stand. Movelist. Let's make you auto block. Let's make you stand. Save changes, motherfucker. Minus 25. So you see what I mean? Like, this is a lot less risky to try and bait out because it's like, it's a high armor move that's unsafe. You could even get him to burn the armor. It's not like you have to worry about accidentally getting hit. You could cut your string short. Like if I was Shang Tsung and I was doing, you know, like look at this. I'm gonna do back 1, right? I'm gonna do back 1 too, and all of a sudden it's like, what if I do back 1 down 1? Like, let's see this. I'm Shang Tsung, back 1 2, back 1. Let's see this. I'm Shang Tsung, back 1 2, mid overhead, back 1 down 1. I don't even have to block. Oh, you're gonna do that, huh? Look at that! Look at that! You see? Oh, you're Shang Tsung, huh? Oh, you like to end the string, huh? Well, guess what? You like to end that string. What if I can't get the fucking enhance move out? Then I'm still fucked! But anyway, I demonstrated it perfectly the first time, and now it's just a little improvised commentary the second time. But that's pretty interesting. You could, all of a sudden, knowing that his armor move is a high, and not only can you duck it without blocking and be safe, or block it and punish him, and make him burn this meter when you know you're going to cut the string short, you could even do a low poke and hit him out of the fucking air because he's airborne. So I think that's like a big vulnerability to his... I think that's a big vulnerability to his armor capabilities, his reversal capabilities. But so then that would be, if you're struggling, you're like, man, I really want to finish these strings. They ended mids, they're really safe, but they're armorable. Like, that really sucks. And you're like, what am I going to do? Cut my string short, not finish it, not special cancel it, not even poke afterwards. How am I going to yield to them? Because if I finish a string, you know, back 1 2, or if I mix it up and try and do back 1 and then continue challenging them, the armor's going to beat me either way. I have to stop attacking because they have meter, they have an armor move. I have to give up. But if you know a guaranteed way to bait and blow up their armor move, then it's like go ahead and try and armor me. All of a sudden you have a meter. Like if you have some crouching attack that can beat their armor move, the same as their armor would beat your full strength, I think it's a fair game. Let's finish looking at his special attacks. Down back circle. That's a low. Boy, is that... Does he have, like, another projectile or anything? -9. So even super up close, he'd struggle to punish it. Yeah, because those are too slow. Oh, what about stand 2? What about stand 2? Stand 2's not even a punish. It makes contact. -9. Doesn't this move start in 8 frames, even if it activates on the 9th? Now look at this. Now look at this. Down back 4. It says -9. Point blank. How's that not a punish? -9. Look, start up 8 frames. Let's say it activates on the 9th. This is -9. That should be a punish. Am I getting hit multiple times, like in block? I don't understand how that's not a punish. -9. Stand 2 is an 8-frame move. If it starts in 8 and is activated on the 9th, and he's at -9. Think about that. It starts in 8 frames, active on frame 9. It takes 9 frames of recovery. It shouldn't be fucking neutral. This is the same fucking thing. It's a 7-frame down 1 that starts in 7 frames and is active on the 8. And is and it's -8. And so, oh, I guess down 1 doesn't beat down 1. Punish! Look at that, punish! Punish! Look at that. Does my math deceive me? Look, you have 8 frames of recovery before you're at neutral and can block again. I have 7 frames of startup, and on the 8th frame, while you're still recovering, sometimes it's -7, cocksucker. How early I gotta press that shit. Look, why is this not a punish? I gotta be 1 frame specific. God, motherfucker. Alright, it's a low projectile. And then it's a low bounce. Fascinating. And then, what else does he have? Power strike. So down forward 1 is an overhead. Blasting overhead. And that puts his axe in the ground. What is this on block? -10. But how far away are they? How far away are they? I mean, do you have any 10-frame moves that can hit? Maybe Shao Kahn does. What do I do? Power strike. Even his stand 2 is too far. What about his stand 3? What about forward 2? What about forward 1? That's not even a move. What about back 1? No. Alright. So, power strike. Changes moveset with no axe. Does he have... He has no axe moves. I didn't look at those. He has no axe jumps. Oh no. Alright, we'll look at no axe now. Power strike changes moveset, axe recall. Changes moveset to no axe cost, enhanced power strike. What's enhanced power strike? What's the difference? It just does more damage? Or it bounces? I don't know why you'd want to do the enhanced if it doesn't... It does 30 more damage and it still puts the axe in the ground. Now I could recall it. It's not an attack to recall. Alright. So then let's look at his new specials, I guess. Now let's look at his new basic moves. So now all of a sudden he has new moves without the axe. Stand 1, 2. I would imagine this would be worse, a hell of a lot worse. -3. I would imagine no axe would be a hell of a lot worse. And back 1. Back 1 is... He has this big, fat punch. A 12 frame. This is another thing I don't want to deal with. having to remember now I'm in a new stance, and I need to remember that the old moves I memorized I no longer have access to. So I'm not gaining new attacks, I'm erasing old attacks. I don't really like thinking about it this way. Kenshi, Shao Kahn, Shang Tsung, I don't like thinking of like, oh, take away what you have. I need to like forget what I know, and don't think you have access to this stuff because it's gone now. That's kind of fucking weird. Okay, he bounces, but you don't have. It's all right. He bounces him in the air. Who gives a shit? He doesn't have these big, cool, swinging, safe mid-overhead axe moves to reach really far and be safe and fast and do a lot of damage. He just has some stupid fucking pussy punch. 2-2-3. How do you get rid of it? High, mid, mid. Neutral. What is this? 2. 2-2-4. Just get rid of this axe. What's 2-2-4 on block? He does advance forward more. That's pretty fun. Let me see if he does. And it's, what is his move? Alright. So he puts it away and then goes. It would be cool if he, because like this axe strike, I guess it's relatively safe because it's so far away. I guess the idea is you're going to combo into that. You're going to combo into that and then just start brawling. It seems like a true string. I can't really get through it. Alright, it seems like a true string. I'll give him credit and say it's a true string. What else does he have with no axe? So then maybe you want to be like swinging axe into this. You know, like, what is it, power strike? You combo into it and you just start beating them. I mean, because without the axe, he's very plus on block. He kind of reminds me of like Baraka. Just like a lot of Baraka's moves really are mids and really are safe. And unless he does that special, you kind of have to respect him. So what does he have? So power fist, and he has 1-2. I mean, whatever. I'm not trying to armor through 2 hits in a string. It's mainly just when the third hit is like this really advantaged mid that I don't want to deal with. Alright, 1-2, 2-2-4, sure, whatever. Back to another weird launching mid, an overhead. He's got an overhead. So what's back to? Like very advantage. I mean, let's look at the frame data. Keep the axe away, man. Let's put him to all block. Let's put him to block all. So 1-2, 7 frames. And then back 1, 12. And back 2's 15. Stand 2's 10. I like stand 2, 4-4. So you can do like power strike, put the axe away. 2-2-4. I kind of like that. And it seems like it's a real string. And then you could just continue 2-2 power strike, 2-2-4. Like, why do back 1 at 12 frames minus 4 when you could do back 2 at 15 plus 3? I don't know. They're both mids. These are just kind of weird moves. Weird moves to do. I guess it's supposed to mimic what he has with his axe. Like, back 2 is that, and then without the axe, it's like the same animation. Back 1 is a bit forward, and then without the axe, it's still a bit forward. So what does he have? I mean, 1-2 is okay. 2-2. Back 1 and back 2 maybe act as anti-airs. I guess I should fucking test. God damn it. That jump axe is cool. So if I don't have my axe, and look, I have to complete the animation. He kind of steps forward a little bit. It's kind of weird. They kind of both step forward and don't even really work as anti-airs, so what's the point? And then down 2. It's a high. Same uppercut, not a big deal. I mean, at least they seem like true block strings. 1, 2, and 2, 2, 4 seem true. Back 3, 2. Are these the... So then these are the same, relatively the same as without the axe. At least that's fair. Back 3 is still low, -6. Back 3, 2 is -6. So let's see him do this. He'll do power strike. Flawless block. That's an overhead too. That power strike's also an overhead. That's pretty useful. I can fucking do it right. Am I just fucking up coming at a block stun? Maybe it becomes a real combo. Let's see. Flawless block. Usually when you're getting a flawless block, then that means it's a real string. So all of a sudden this becomes a real string. That could be useful. So then I would be abusing that a lot. I can't seem to armor through it. But I could just be getting fucking up. Let's switch sides and see if it's just my hands. My hands could be getting tired and that's why I'm fucking up. It could be. Alright, I'll call it a true string, sure. So finally he gets something good. His back 3-2 becomes a real string. It's finally a real boy. And then, what is back 4? A weird low standing sweep, +3. 10 frame +3, low hitting sweep. I like that. It's a hell of a lot better than his axe. So some stuff's getting better. So his kick strings, back 3-2 and back 4 are getting better without the axe. And it's going to be tough to punish him trying to transition into the axe. And then forward 4 is still the same old shit. It's that same mid kick. That doesn't change. And then down 4 becomes 8 frames. Interesting. Down 4 becomes 8 frames. Okay. What about his down 3? That would have to change, right? His down 3 is 10 frames. Still -11, so still shitty. His down 3 doesn't change. Down 4 changes. And then with no axe, let's see, auto, stand, jump. What does he have? Jump, 1, 2, 2. Ground bounces, I think that's the same. I think it's still ground bounces. And then 2, 2. Wow, 2, 2 is a nice juggle. Alright, cool. His air string. 2, 2. Yeah, okay, so coming off air string, stand 2 is a good option, whether he has an axe or not, just because it's his fastest move. What is his stand 2 without an axe? Startup is 4? What? Whoa, 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 whoa. What are you talking about? Barbaric intent. It says startup is 4 frames, it's fucking 10. Look, I have no axe. 10 frames. What is with this fucking dude? So either I think that the listing, I think this is just a listing. 4 frames of startup? Are you a fool? Are you madman? And then specials with no axe. Let's look at this quickly. Let's make him block all and stand, and let's make him look at this. So as far as his normal list without the axe, at least the buttons are identical. I still have 1, 2, and 2, 2, 4. 1, 2, 2, 2, 4. It's good enough. Close enough to the original strings. All of his other moves, like 4, 2 is still an overhead. Back 3 is still low. Now back 3, 2 is a real combo. Some of his low kicks get a little bit better just because they're a bit faster and safer. His jump combos are the same. Jump 1, 2, jump 2, 2. So, okay, so this is an easy transition into and out of the axe. I guess when you hit the axe, so if you use Dark Energy, your axe moves get powered up. Devastator is his high armor move. Deathquake is a low projectile. I think that I like Garrus better. I think Garrus is stronger. But Shao Kahn's interesting. I'm surprised more people aren't mashing with Shao Kahn and just using Baraka. At least Shao's cool. Power Strike is a relatively safe overhead because good luck punishing it. I mean, it's -10, but look how far away you are. So, and it's a real overhead. It puts it on the ground, and then you can recall it. That doesn't really matter. But Classic Khan, what does this do? So without the axe, he still has his lunge. With no axe, he still has his lunge, and it still has armor. It's still a high. Down forward 2, and then hold back. So he has this, down forward 4, and then he has down forward 2. Oh, it's a throw. So he gets a command throw all of a sudden. It says throw, so you can duck it. So I can still duck it. But it'll grab me if I'm blocking. Okay. And then you can enhance it. And then what's the enhancement do? Just more damage? And then you can hold left or right to switch sides if you want to. He has access to a command throw now. I mean, start up 1 frame. No, it isn't. Start up 1 frame. A 1 frame command throw. It seems more like 11. 11 frames startup. Jesus Christ, what's going on here? Some of the stuff, it's like in Shang Tsung, overheads were listed as lows and vice versa between his old and young move list. And then he has regular tree chopper. What is that? And then, okay, so then he teleports to where his axe is. Down forward 1. Maybe you have to be close. You have to be close enough. You have to be close enough to his axe. And he'll grab it. You have to be like within the vicinity of the axe. But you can always do this command throw. Or no, you have to be close to the axe in order to get the command throw out. And to get the chop out. What's the difference between these two? That's +3. I like that. So you can do like 2-2, this, and then 2-2-4, and then pull it. I like that. I like that. So he can safely transition into all this stuff. It seems. Let's do that, and then let's do... Well, you didn't fucking do it right. Let's do... Put this there, and then we'll do like 2-2, that. So he puts it on me, and he's punching me. It seems like it's a true string. Because he really grabs it fast. No, I can armor it. Alright, so it's like not really... Even though I special canceled into it. So you should watch out for... You should watch out for that. What if I just did it raw? Counter hit, nice armor. But the whole point is you want to be able to do it at a block stun on reaction. So the whole point is you want to be able to do it at a block stun. What if I did this and then I did 1-2 that? Like look at this shit, dude. Do what I'm fucking telling you. And then 1-2 that. Because if these aren't real special cancels, then it's like, how is this like a setup strategy? You know? He puts the axe down and then he's punching me. That's not a real setup. He puts the axe down and he's punching me, but it's not a real special cancel into this grab the axe on the ground. Because I could just use fucking armor. Now, if that had armor, maybe his enhanced tree chop has armor. Has armor, must be near the axe. Same with the throw, must be near the axe. Let's see how that works. Puts down. What happens here? Mine wins because I went later. Weird. So then, just doing it raw, putting the axe down. Why would you want to put the axe down? It's a relatively safe. It's a tough to punish overhead. It's a tough to punish overhead. And you get access to a command throw, but you already have access to a regular throw. So, and they can be crouching and it'll whiff. What else does he have? He has access to a safe. He has access to a safe punch string 1, 2, and 2, 2, 4. Whereas what? 2, 2, 2 was. Could you armor this one? No. Didn't he have one regular armor move? Or like poor string? Maybe forward 1, 2, 2. Maybe that was it. I think so. Oh, because that's the launch that's unsafe, yeah. So you don't really need to armor it, you just punish it. But I mean, I liked his normal moveset. What else does he have without an axe? There's like one more, right? Axe Quake. And that's, what is that? And he can do it again and again. It's an overhead and a low. How does that make sense? So coming up, it's an overhead. No. Overhead low. How does this work? Low. Hang on. Put the axe down. Maybe if you're not near the axe. He doesn't fucking do it correctly. So if you're not near the axe, it's just a low. How is that supposed to... I don't really get it. Why don't you just jump it? Because it'll hit you in the air coming up. I don't know. I'm still in block stun. I automatically blocked it. So if you're close to it, look, I'm auto blocking it. In the air, it's an overhead. So if he puts it over me, but then it'll hit me. If I'm close to it, you block it standing, and you auto block it low. Oh, look, I'm standing. I'll hold up and I'll stand. I'll hold up block. Up block. So if the axe is over you, you just block it standing and you auto transition. Or you could jump and fucking hit him. Can you combo into Can you combo into Power Strike and make that shit work? Block auto. So comboing into Power Strike is not like an option. Oh, I guess you could do that if it's like. So you can do 1, 2 Power Strike if they're juggled. What else does he have? 1, 2, and is it forward 1? Yeah, forward 1, 2, 2. Is that combo? Kind of, yeah. 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, forward 1, 1, 2. That puts it there. 1, 2, forward 1. 1, 2, forward 1, 2, 2. Why am I getting that now? Can I combo out of that? You gotta wait. You gotta trust that it's gonna hit. You gotta wait really long. Oh, you can't, you can't special cancel the last hit of that. So comboing into Power Strike might be a way to do it. Can I do 1-2 Power Strike and then slam that down? I guess. And then his power up. So a lot of his strings are safe. Figure out what strings bounce and get you normal hits. 1, 2. Let's see. 1, 2. I want to do 1, 2. That combos. What about, like... So 1, 2 is a good starter just to hit with, like, anything. Doesn't stand 2 work as well. Yeah. 1, 2. You can do... down back 3, or you can do 1, 2... Power Strike. Huh. Just to put it there. I mean, I don't know. If you want to combo into Power Strike and make it hit. If it juggles them. Can you do 1, 2, 1, 2? That's kind of weird. Just put it down there. So Power Strike is interesting, only because it gives him access to a command. Maybe it's not interesting at all. He still has his armored move. He has a command throw that's not really any better than a regular throw. He has a special attack that can be seen on reaction and armored, and he has this overhead close projectile that's a low from far away, but he has access to all of these lows elsewhere. Power Strike is a relatively safe overhead, and then he gets access to these really fast and safe punch strings off 2, 2, 4, and 1, 2. I don't know. He has a lot of... I don't know. He's missing something. It's like he's missing a projectile or something. He doesn't have that good range, but he is safe. He has some mix-up potential. I don't know what his combo potential is. I don't think that the axe really makes him interesting. Comboing into Power Strike just to get rid of the axe doesn't really work, because whatever you would set up off the axe, like 1, 2 throw, like look at that. You're going to set something off setting the axe down on like, set the axe down and then try and do it over them. Like they're going to be in, how are you going to set up this axe throw any different than a regular throw? And picking up the axe, you can armor through that. So, I don't know why you want to put the axe down. He doesn't really get anything. He doesn't really get anything. He loses a lot. The only thing he gets is that back 3-2 becomes a full string. And becomes an actual mix-up. You put the axe down, and then back 3-2 becomes a legitimate low overhead safe string. And maybe you could... I don't know, do something like that. Maybe that's how you set it up. Power Strike, back 3-2, and then set that up. I don't know. But the time has come where I must bid you farewell. I think that he has, like I said, some interesting strikes, easy button combinations, safe mids and overheads. He only has like 1 armorable string off his normals, and his axe attacks are cool. They start very fast, and he's relatively safe. I don't know what type of damage he can get. Maybe he's just a poke hit character, not a juggle character. I think the axe mix-ups between the throw and the mid-strike are not real mix-ups, because you can armor them both. But he does seem cool, more interesting than Baraka. Hopefully we'll see more of him. He moves well. His moves all look familiar. He's got lows and overheads. And he's safe. A poke character, so him and Tanya, poke characters, not real combo heavy. Safe poke characters, but not real combo heavy. Will they be able to score damage, or will he really screw up with cameos? That remains to be seen. But for now, that's it for General Shao.